TYTSports, everybody. Ben Mankiewicz, Francis Maxwell. World Cup semifinal number 2.
Yeah.
Wednesday at 1 Pacific has Argentina and the Netherlands.
Yes.
And we have some stats. Let's get those right up here, because I find this fascinating. Because having seen the Netherlands now out of the group stage, you look at those goals scored, and you're like 12. And Brazil has scored 10, Germany has scored 10. How has the Netherlands scored 12? And you forget the first game.
Yeah, they smashed Spain.
5 against Spain.
Yeah.
So since then, in what has been 4 games, then they've only scored 7 goals.
Yeah.
And I think they got 2 in the second one. So they're at like 5 and 3, and they have struggled. They have struggled seriously to score goals, especially in the first 90.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to look at Netherlands' run towards the semi-finals, out of all the teams, no offense to Mexico and Costa Rica, you're thinking they've had the easiest run. You know what I mean? They've got teams that you'd expect in the breeze pass. After beating Spain 5-1 first game, they look deadly going forward. You're thinking Netherlands have got an easy run, but they've made it so difficult for themselves. They're squandering chances, which against teams like Argentina, they're not going to get away with, because Argentina will punish them. But they've got a tactical genius.
Let me ask you this, because it seems to me, again, as an outsider who's seen a tiny percentage of the games, the matches that you've seen, that some of the failure of the Netherlands to convert the enormous opportunities that they had, mostly against Costa Rica. I mean, how that game was nothing.
Yeah.
It was staggering to me. But also against Mexico, and being down to Mexico in the 88th minute?
Yeah,
87th?
88th minute.
Yeah, 88th minute into Mexico. Some of that just seems random to me. Like that there is a degree of weird, if you're a talented team and everybody acknowledges that they're at least pretty good, that you keep getting that many opportunities, eventually you score, and trying to read too much into these blown opportunities, hey man, they just got bad luck. Hits a post, they hit a couple balls, but these guys are good, and that's not going to keep happening.
No, it comes down to what the coach Louis van Gaal, who's going to be the Manchester United coach, he plays a lot of mind games, and I don't know if these mind games are taking their toll on the Netherlands themselves, because in the group stages they look so comfortable going forward, they look fluent, but they seem to be changing that aspect of their game. They are still good on the counter-attack, but at the same time they seem to be relying too much on guys like Robben and Van Persie, who are missing their chances. They're not scoring them as fluently as you'd expect them to, and then they're looking susceptible at the back. And then you've got Van Gaal, and I mean, all credit to him. Did you see what happened in the game? He changed the goalkeeper at the very end. He plays a lot of mind games, and I'm just thinking, will these mind games work against Argentina, who are deadly?
So that seems insane to me, that the idea that you would change a goalkeeper for the shootout.
Yeah.
But it's possible, is it not, that you have one guy who's just particularly good at that?
Absolutely. And I mean, as I said, I'm not condemning
it worked.
Louis van Gaal. It worked.
You can't, right?
I mean, the goalkeeper, he's got an extra 2 inches, and he obviously, not even just the fact that he might have been better. What do you think Costa Rica's players were thinking? Oh shit, this guy must be really good. They're bringing him on in the last minute. So then that starts to play in their mind.
It's weird, because you wouldn't, like in any other sport, you would know how good the other guy was. Like it's not, I can't imagine that had anything to do with it. I just think he was better, and it worked.
Yeah.
A couple of things. I don't think the Netherlands has done much to endear themselves to fans.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Dutch fans, they're sold. But like, Robben seems like a dick. And the second goalkeeper, what's his name again? Krul. You know, he was doing the nonsense, and we don't see a lot of that, which is another nice thing about soccer, is we don't see a lot of, doesn't seem to be a lot of trash talking.
Especially in this tournament, there's been a lot of sportsmanship.
Yeah, there has been.
I didn't expect
and
that.
I like it, and it's, I mean, they get mad. I don't want guys to be lifeless, and it's funny, I was watching the, for crying out loud, who was the French guy who headbutted the
Zidane?
Zidane, right, Zinedine Zidane.
Yeah.
So I was watching that again. And do you remember what it turned out what he said? What he said?
Called his mum an Algerian whore, I think.
He said, "I'd rather be with a whore than your mom." I thought, or maybe it was your sister. But it wasn't it was all that talk in the beginning that he called him a terrorist. It was a thing that you would imagine that guys who had played sports all their lives at a competitive high levels, you'd have been like, fuck you.
You try playing in a Sunday league in Scotland, and you'll hear things much worse than that.
My mother's a whore? Whatever. Yeah, I'm not.
Heard it.
By the way, do you have an audition later or something?
What? For what?
For a play?
Modeling?
Yeah.
Yeah. Final thing to say about Argentina
yeah.
is the fact that they brought in a defender. I didn't think they looked as strong at the back. I thought they looked, especially against Switzerland, very susceptible to goals. But against Belgium, they were so structured. Belgium had literally nothing. If you're watching that game, Belgium had nothing compared to what they had shown in previous games.
Belgium had like 15 opportunities against the Americans and then nothing.
Literally towards the end, I was just watching it, and it had a slight glimmer of hope towards the end. I was just like, they're not going to score. I mean, Argentina, they looked, in some ways, a lot different than what they previously done attacking-wise. They kind of looked a little boring. But they looked, I mean, defensively, it was just, it looked like they'd take a long time.
Put up those numbers just one more time, the stat sheet again, because you'll see that for these guys, especially if you take out the 5 goals that the Netherlands scored against Spain, which seems like so long ago, these teams appear to be incredibly evenly matched. In this case, it's the Dutch who appear to be more aggressive than Argentina. Argentina more like Germany, and the Netherlands a little more like Brazil.
Yeah, they're definitely committing more fouls, which is funny because they're always claiming that Robben's the one that's getting fouled more. But Argentina in this game, it's going to be a battle of who can withstand counter-attacks more on their team, because both of the teams have been defending and then hitting the teams fast, and Argentina, I think, might take it.
Yeah, I think Argentina's going to win too. They seem to be headed in the right direction, whereas the Netherlands seems to be struggling.
Yeah, I mean, because if you looked at the stats, you're thinking 1-0. You're thinking, oh no, Argentina struggled. If you watch the game, no way.
No, you're right. They controlled it. All right, so there you have it. That game Wednesday at 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern. So you like Argentina? You like an Argentina-Germany?
Argentina-Germany final. Unfortunately, because I went Brazil.
It's really hard for me not to make a Nazi fleeing joke with an Argentina-Germany final, but I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. Not going to see it here. Thank you, Francis.
Thank you.